Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sumukascha Yekadantascha Kapilo Gajakarnakaha Lambodharascha Vikato Vignarajo Vinayakaha Dhoomaketurganadhyakshaha Palachandro Gajananaha Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambaha Skandapurvajaha Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Safivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Yasyat Virada Vaktradhya Parishadhya Parastatam Vignam Nighnanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamastraye Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheswara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. With Bhagavan's grace, let us continue where we left off. We came up to Slokam number 31. Sukamuni has arrived and we saw a brief description of the beauty, the splendor, the ramyam, the attractiveness and the divinity and the embodiment of selfless love that Sukamuni is. We saw that. We also saw how the rishis, even though Bhagavan's glory, Sukamuni's glory was hidden, it was not self-advertising, and the rishis, the various great sages who were present, they could recognize who it was. And when this form of light, the Jyoti, was recognized, acknowledged as Sukamuni himself, immediately King Parikshit fell down at the feet of Sukamuni, spoke very sweetly, worshipped him with full his body, his mind, and his everything surrendered to him. Then he spoke in a very sweet voice, with Vinayam, most humbly and politely, and very sweet to hear. What did he say? Slokam number 32. Parikshit said, Aho, Adhya Vayam Brahman Sat Sevyaha Atra Bandhavaha Kripaya Atiti Rupena Bhavadbihi Tirthakaha Krutaha. Aho, Adhya Vayam Brahman Sat Sevyaha Ksatra Bandhavaha Kripaya Atiti Rupena Bhavadbihi Tirthakaha Krutaha. O Brahman, he addresses him as Brahman, the most expansive Bhagavan himself, Aham Brahmasmi. That Brahman, he says Brahman, who says, Aho, what a great wonder it is. Adhya, today, Vayam, we here it talks about the Vayam Chatra Bandhavaha. You had to combine it together. Chatra Bandhavaha. Chatra. Now, the Chatra, the root word is Shut. Shut means to remove the misery of. To remove, where does the misery come from? From fear. And fear, where does the fear come from? From lack of faith. And when you feel absolutely secure, there is no fear, right? And the person, the people in the society who give you that protection, we call them as king. Tatra Bandhavaha, people who are the royal kings and people who are attached to them, Adhya, today, we all, Sat Sevyaha. Oh, what a wonder. We've been fortunate, blessed enough to do service to all the sages, the Munis, the Rishis who have assembled here. And Bhavadbihi, your Kripaya, with your blessing, you have come here as Atiti Rupena. You have come here as a guest. And where you show up, that becomes a Tirtham, a Kshetradanam, we call it a sacred place. And you have come here in the form of an Atiti, Tirthakaha, Krutaha, rendering this place as extremely holy and sacred itself. Aho, Adhya vayam brahman sat sevyaha ksatra bandhavah kripaya atiti-rupena bhavadbihi tirthakaha krutaha. Number 33. Yesham samsmaranat pumsam sadyah suddhayanti vai grihaha kim punardarsanaha sparsapada saucha asanadibihi. Yesham samsmaranat pumsam sadyah suddhayanti vai grihaha kim punardasanah sparsapada saucha asanadibihi. Slokam number 33. Yesham samsparanat pumsam sadyah suddhayanti. And grihaha. Why grihaha? Let us take that together. Yesham samsmaranat. By doing smaranam, by remembering, by reflecting constantly on who? Pumsam, the various men, the humanity, sadhyaha, instantly. Pumsam, not only the humanity, also vai grihaha, along with their houses, sadhyaha, instantly suddhayanti, become sanctified and pure. Just to think of you, just to remember you, reflect on you itself purifies us. Not only all the humanity, all the houses, places where people live. Just a thought of Sukhamani sanctifies it. Yesham samsmaranat. Kim punaha darshanaha sparsapada saucha asanadibihi. So just by thinking of you, we become sanctified. Kim, then what to speak of? Punaha, then darshanaha, to have your darshan. Sparsham, to have your sparsham, right? Pada saucha asanadibihi, and then washing your holy feet, and or to offer you a seat in our midst. How blessed we are and how much sanctified we become in that process. Because just to think of you alone is enough to purify and sanctify everyone. But now to get this opportunity to have your darshan and to have your sparshan and sambhashan, and also the opportunity to wash your holy feet and give you a seat, how blessed we are and how sanctified. Kim, what else? How can we speak even of that? Yesham samsparanate pumsam sadyaka suddhayanti vai grihaha kim punardarshanah sparsapada saucha asanadibihi. Number 34. Sannidhyat te mahayogin patakani mahanti api sadhyah nasyanti vai pumsam vishnoho iva surateraha. That one. Let me read it properly here. I want to make sure with the light I have available here, I'm reading it correctly. Yeah, surateraha is correct. Okay. Sannidhyat te mahayogin patakani mahanti api sadhyah nasyanti vai pumsam vishnoho iva sura itaraha surateraha. Now, sannidhyat te sannidhyat, by the very fact of your sannidhyam, that means your presence, as we call it. The very fact we have your darshan and your presence is here.
Is Anna disconnected?
This is Meera.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, here. Now we can hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, very good. Okay. So, Mahayogin Patakani Mahanti Api. In the presence of great yogis and in your presence, Mahanti Patakani Api, how the various, even extreme acts of sin and all that, they vanish. They cannot stay in your presence. Sathya, immediately, Nashyanti, they get destroyed. When you have darshanam of a Mahayogi, of an extremely noble soul, what happens? The very fact that you have that darshanam is a blessing. Then, darshanam papa nashanam is a saying. And so when you have Bhagavan's Avatara Purushan darshan or darshanam of Mahayogis, of Sukhamuni, people like that, your sins actually get destroyed. That's the power of the darshan. So when it is like that, te sannidhyate mahayogin patakani mahanti api sadhyaha nasyanti vai pumsam. All that pumsam means humanity, man. All the sins of people get destroyed just in your presence, sannidhyam. How is it? Like Vishnoho sura itaraha. The various asuras, how do they get destroyed in the very presence of Vishnu? It is like all the sins of all the people who have your darshan, all the sins get destroyed. Sannidhyat te mahayogin patakani mahanti api sadhyaha nasyanti vai pumsam Vishnoho iva sura itaraha. Sura itaraha, that means people who are not suras, that is asuras. Number 35. Api me Bhagavan Pritaha Krishnaha Pandusuta Priyaha Paitru Swasreya Priti Artham Tad Gotrasya Atta Bandavaha. What a how much humility and vinayam that Parikshit has, when he says things like this. The greatest Maharaja ever lived. Api me Bhagavan Pritaha Krishnaha Pandusuta Priyaha Paitru Swasreya Priti Artham Tad Gotrasya Atta Bandavaha. See, what he's saying here is Krishna was to Pandusuta Priyaha, various Pandavas, right? And I was very dear to them. And because I have come in this lineage, been born in that, he must have taken that into account. Yes, he is from that lineage. Therefore, he is now accepted me as a friend, as a relative. Is how he says. Okay, that's the meaning of the slokam. Api me Bhagavan Pritaha Krishna. Bhagavan Krishna. Api. Definitely, he says, certainly. Api means different things in different places, okay? And where it is used. So here it means definitely, certainly, Bhagavan, the Krishna Bhagavan, Pandusuta Priyaha Pritaha. Pandusuta Priyaha. He was also very dear to the Pandavas, okay? Because he was dear to them, so they loved him. When Bhakta loves the Bhagavan, Bhagavan loves Bhakta in return. I mean, it's unbelievable interchange of prema between Bhagavan and Bhakta. That's what whole Bhagavatam is all about. Nothing more than that. And so this Pritaha Pandusuta Priyaha Krishna Paitru Swasreya Paitru. That means in relation to the father. Okay, we say Pitru, Pita and also. Paitru means related to the father. And what is Krishna's father? Krishna's father, Vasudeva, was the brother of Kunti. Okay, so now the next word comes. Swasreya. The Swasreya means sons of the sister. So what we call as aunt or Attai in Tamil. And so Krishna's aunt's sons are Pandusuta, so the Pandavas. So he was very much in love with them. They loved him in return. So Priti Artham, that love that was flowing between Bhagavan Krishna and Pandavas, is it the essence of it? Because Tat Gotrasya, in that lineage, I have also been born in the same lineage. Is that because of that, after he has accepted me, Bhagavan Krishna has accepted me as Bandhavaha, as a friend and as relative, because I am born in this lineage of Pandavas who were attached to the lotus feet of Krishna. Apibe Bhagavan Pritaha Krishnaha Pandusutta Priyaha Paitru Swasreya Priti Artham Tat Gotrasya Atta Bandhavaha. Number 36. Anyata te avyakta gatehe darshanam naha khatam nirnam nitaram mriyamananam samsiddhasya vaniyataha. Slokam number 36. Anyata te avyakta gatehe darshanam naha katam nrinam nitaram mriyamananam samsiddhasya vaniyataha. Anyata means otherwise, they say in English. Otherwise, te you avyakta gatehe. Avyakta gatehe. See, gata means to move. The characharam we say, the thing charam, the one that keeps on the movements. That's what gata. Avyakta, invisible. Okay, you cannot. Sukha was moving about invisibly. Prema moves around invisibly. Sukha is just an embodiment of selfless love. Nothing more than that. And that moves around invisibly. Avyakta gatehe. Even in our life, you can see we are all supported and sustained only by prema. And finally, we dissolve in prema only. But the thing that is sustaining, and with that sustenance we move about, how does the prema move? It's invisibly, it moves. Invisibly. When you love someone, immediately love is returned. Can you see the movement? It's not possible. So, avyakta gatehe, avyakta gatehe, yourself, your respected self, most worshipful self, you move about invisibly. Darshanam naha khatam nirnam. And khatam means how. And naha, us, for us. Nirnam, us beings, us human beings. Darshanam, khatam, how can we get to your darshanam? When we move about invisibly, it's not possible to get to your darshanam. Unless you decide to manifest, we cannot see you. Now, nitaram, specifically, mriyamananam, those who are faced with imminent death. And for those people, samsiddhasya vaniyasaha. See, vaniyasaha means you have voluntarily appeared out of your infinite grace. You have chosen to manifest yourself to me. And samsiddhasya, you are the most perfect one. Your embodiment of prema itself, moving about invisibly out of your own grace, voluntarily. You have now appeared here, manifested here to bless me because I am faced with imminent death. Anyata te avyakta gatehe darshanam naha khatam nirnam nitaram mriyamananam samsiddhasya vaniyataha. Nitaram is very important. Specifically, for my sake you have come. That's what it means. Nitaram means specifically. Number 37. Ataha prichami samsiddham yoginam paramam gurum purushasya iham yat karyam mriyamanasya sarvatha. Slokam number 37. Coming to the origin of this Bhagavata story out here. That is what's going to happen here. Bhagavatam has no origin, no beginning, no end. But our katha, that Sukha, how we all came to know about Bhagavatam, the origin of that is happening here. Ataha, prichami samsiddham yoginam paramam gurum purushasya iham yat karyam mriyamanasya sarvata. Basically says, ataha, therefore, since you have appeared here voluntarily out of your infinite grace that you are showering on me specifically because I am facing imminent death, ataha, therefore, prichami, I ask you. And who are you? Samsiddhim yoginam paramam gurum. The samsiddhim, samsiddhim means something that is perfect. And what is perfect? Only divinity is perfect. Nothing else is perfect. And as an Avataram Purushan said once, I'm perfection itself. I'm perfect. And only Bhagavan can claim that. Everything else is imperfect. The moment we separate ourselves from Bhagavan, we become imperfect. But Bhagavan is perfect. Some Siddhim, to put in our English code language, I'm using the word perfection. Yoginam, for all the yogis who are holding on to your lotus feet, who are merged in you, who have or in the pathway to merge in you, different, whatever, all yogis, okay, Raja Rishi, Brahma Rishis, the Deva Rishis, everybody, for all of them, Paramam Gurum, you are the most supreme master, the most supreme teacher, for all of them. Purushasya iham, here, Purushasya for human beings, for beings, yat karyam, which action, Mriyamanasya Purushasya, those people are now facing imminent death, Sarvata, always, not once or twice, always, Sarvata, Sarvakaleshu, Sarvatra Harichintanam. Sarvata, Sarvakaleshu, Sarvatra Harichintanam. Sarvata, always. And that Sarvata is a very important word. And in every way, right? The Mriyamanasya Purushasya, the people who are facing imminent death, yat karya, which is the one action that they all must do here, immediately, now. That here means not only in place but also in time. That's the question he's asking. So, Mriyamanasya Purushasya Sarvata yat karyam iha prichami. And you are the most qualified, the supreme master of all the yogis, and you are perfection itself. Only you are qualified to answer that. Ataha prichami samsiddhim yoginam paramam gurum purushasya iham yat karyam mriyamanasya sarvata. Number 38. Yat srotavyam ataha japyam yat kartavyam nirbihi prabho Vartavyam bhajaniyam va bruhi yat va viparyayam. Very beautifully he is asking. If you listen carefully, you know how precisely he is asking the question and how precise the answer is. Yat srotavyam ataha japyam yat kartavyam nirbihi prabho Vartavyam bhajaniyam va bruhi yat va viparyayam. All the confusions, the imprecise answers given to him by all the various rishis before Sukha manifested himself, he is repeating here. O Prabho, O my master, he says, the granter of wishes. Okay, that's what Prabho means. Yet which, srotavyam, which is to be heard, ataha, from here onwards. Which is yet srotavyam, which is the one thing that must be heard and listened to. Yet japyam, which is one thing that we must do japam on. Yet kartavyam, which is one activity we must do, nirbihi, all the human beings. Yet martavyam, which is the one I do smaranam on. Smaranam means remembrance, reflection. Keep on remembering it in your mind. And yet bhajaniyam, which one I must completely be devoted to and surrender to. That bhajaniyam. Wow, all these. Ruhi, please tell me. Wow, also, yet viparyayam, which has to be avoided and given up. Viparyayam is something that against the dharmic principle. See, there are actions, there are two types of actions, the do and the don't. Things that you do and things that you don't do. So both we must understand. So he's asking, yat va viparyayam, which must be given up and not done. So which is the one activity that I must listen to? I must listen to only one thing. I must do japam on only one thing. I must do only one action. And I must do only one smarana, one remembrance. I must do only one bhajan. What is it? Tell me. And what are the activities I must avoid and give up? Not me, all the nirbihi, all the human beings who are faced with death, what should they do? Yes, and what should they not do also? Yat srotavyam ataha chapyam yat kartavyam nirbihi prabho vartavyam bhajaniyam va bruhi yat va viparjayam. Number 39. Nunam bhagavatah brahman griheshu griha medhina na lakshate hi avasthanam api go dohanam svachati. It's a beautiful thing how he is capturing the essence of time, the essence of the value of time here and the value of having the darshan of Sukha Muni. He is not wasting it. Nunam bhagavatah brahman griheshu griha medina na lakshate hi avasthanam api go dohanam kvachite. Slokam number 39. See, I'm asking you all this so precisely because Nunam means because you see Bhagavataha, thou your worshipped, your most respected and worshipful self, Brahman, you are Brahman itself. And see, Griheshu, Griha Medina. Griha Medina means householders, people who are living in houses, homes, what we call home and all that. And in their Grahastas, okay, people, householders, Griheshu, in their houses, na lakshyate hi, Bhagavan, yourself, cannot even be seen in the houses of Grihastas, of householders. Avasthanam, to stay there, you don't even see them. Go dohanam kvachit, even for the time it takes to milk a cow. Go dohanam means milking the cow. And kvachit means very rarely. No, it's not possible to have darshan of Sukha Muni. Even when the darshanam appears, he doesn't stay there at a place, even for even as little a time as it takes to milk a cow, because he vanishes, appears and disappears. That is what you because Bhagavatah Brahman Griheshu Griha Medina na lakshyate hi avasthanam. Avasthanam means to stay. And na lakshyate, your staying cannot be seen. Go dohanam kvachit, for the time it takes to milk a cow. Even that is very, very rare only it is seen like that. Nunam Bhagavatah Brahman Griheshu Griha Medina na lakshyate hi avasthanam api go dohanam kvachit. What is the one activity I must do? I am faced with death. And not only me, those faced with death. What is one activity they must do? That's a question. Number 40. Suta Uvacha. Suta said, Evam bhashitah prishtah saha rajna slakshniya gira pratyabhashata dharmajnah Bhagavan Badarayanihi. Evam bhashitah prishtah saha rajna slakshniya gira pratyabhashata dharmajnah Bhagavan Badarayanihi. Bhagavan Badarayanihi, Dharmajnah, Bhagavan himself. And Bhagavan himself has come as Sukha Muni. With that effulgence, right from birth, he did not have a feeling of separation from Paramatma, from Brahman, from that entity. He had no feeling of separation. He was Prema embodied. So he is Bhagavan. Badarayanihi, he took birth as a son of Badarayana. Who is Vyasa? Badarayana is this Vyasa's name. Dharmajnaha, he is a knower of what dharma is. Only Bhagavan knows what dharma is. No, everybody else can talk about it, can give a big discourse on it, can analyze it and detail it, but they do not know. Only Bhagavan knows. Dharmajnaha is that Bhagavan, Badarayanihi, Sukha Muni. Evam, thus, abhashitaha, asked for. Thus, abhashitaha, being spoken to. Prishtaha, being asked. Not only Parikshit spoke to him, but he also asked him. Saha Rajna, that King Parikshit, Slakshnaya Gira, Slakshnaya, very sweetly, most sweetly, Gira words, the language, the words that Parikshit used in speaking to him and asking the question was so sweet because it was soaked in bhakti, soaked in devotion, soaked in sincerity, a sincere quest to know. when the sincere questioner comes, Bhagavan himself comes to teach. And that happens not only, Parikshit, to you and me. When we ask a question sincerely, even today, this minute, Bhagavan will appear in whatever form he chooses to appear. And you will get the answer for the question that you have. And Sakala Samsaya Haraya Namaha, we say about Bhagavan. And Bhagavan here appeared as Sukhamani. And because we must Lakshnaya Gira, our words and languages and thought must be extremely sweet. And sweetness means not just a sweetness of the tongue. No. It's a sweetness of the mind, sweetness of the heart. It should be soaked in bhakti, and that is very important. So when he heard that, Abhashitaha, spoken to, Pushtaha, asked by Saharajna Lakshnaya Gira, this Bhagavan, Bhadarayanihi Dharmajnaha, Bhagavan Sukhamuni, who is a knower of Dharma, Pratyabhashata, he replied to that question. Evam Abhashitaha Prishtaha Saharajna Lakshnaya Gira, Pratyabhashata Dharmajnaha, Bhagavan Bhadarayanihi, iti Srimad Bhagavate Mahapurane Vaiyasikyam Ashtadasa Sahasraya Paramahamsaya Samhitayam Pratamaskandhe Sukha Agamanam Nama Yekona Vimso Adhyaya. Iti thus Srimad Bhagavate in Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapurane, the great supreme Puranam that Bhagavatam is Vaiyasikyam. It has been taught to us by Vyasa, written by Vyasa for our benefit. Ashtadasa Sahasraya. The wonder and the glory of Bhagavan is described in Ashtadasam, in 18 parts. Paramahamsaya, Paramahamsa Bhakti, we talked about it earlier, that completely filters out all the impurities and absorbs and gives out the essence of what purity is, what prema is. Samhitayam, the Puranam is Samhitai. That means it is causes only benefit. There is no harm, absolutely no harm. In fact, it removes all impurities, not only to one or two people who listen to this. The vibrations are so strong. Wherever Bhagavatam is spoken and heard, the speaker and the listener and the environment also gets purified, is benefited. Pratamaskandhe, in the first skandham, Sukha Agamanam, the arrival of Sukhamuni, Nama, with the name, Yekona Vimso, 19th Adhyaya, chapter. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Harihi Om, Samastalokaha, Sukhino Bhavantu, Samastalokaha, Sukhino Bhavantu, Samastalokaha, Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.